I just knew like she was gonna save us. Like it was just the best cinematic thing I've ever seen in my life, and I was seriously in tears on the sideline. So she deserved it. She worked so hard. She's such a great leader for us. So I just love for her to see her get her flowers.
We were meant to climb on high.
Summit Up, your one-stop shop for all things Denver Summit FC and plenty of side hikes into the greater NWSL landscape, women's sports in Denver, and everything you should know about the culture and community of soccer at 5280. As always, I'm your host, and with me is our other host, Matt. We have 2 matches to recap today and 1 to preview, so with several updates on the team. So let's dive in. Matt, take us peak to peak.
You paused for a second at the beginning when you said, as always, like maybe you forgot who you were. Like, are you feeling okay?
I just want people to remember us, you know? You never know.
A dramatic pause. It was like a drum roll, please.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, as we go peak to peak, I'll cite a big moment for host Kaylee Long as well as Michaela Schifrin this weekend. They celebrated Stick Season with the Noah Khan concert at the Rocky Stadium, Coors Field. Some vigilant Summit fans will recall that Michaela Schifrin posted a video saying she sorely could not make the rescheduled match last weekend. And internet sleuths found out is because she had Noah Khan tickets, which, I mean, Kaylee, are you going to falter on that one?
No, I'm not going to falter at all. In fact, that was my first thought when I texted you of, oh, love that the match is being rescheduled for the Heat. I do think that it's going to be impacted by the concert. I was so thankful that my tickets were for Sunday night, not Saturday night, because I could watch the game and go to the concert. But no, I can't falter for it. It was an incredible
See, Michaela,
concert.
like, come on. Like, she's a gold medalist. She should have been able to plan ahead. If you could plan ahead that far, Michaela, all right, you're on notice. You got to come on the pod and apologize.
No. I don't believe
I didn't
that's
put you on
fair at
notice.
all.
Kaylee put you on notice, Michaela.
I did not.
Look.
No, you
I'm
don't
just saying.
understand, Matt. It seems like you're not really an Ocon fan because you don't understand how hard it was to get tickets from the original release. And then I know that there were tickets available for a much steeper price, but this is quite the tour. I know we've now digressed from soccer to Noah Khan, but it is a spiritual experience to go to the Noah Khan concert. It was incredible. You basically just cry with 30,000, I don't know how many that stadium holds, other fans, and it was amazing. I could not recommend it more. Step off Michaela because she deserved to be there. And I do believe
that's a valid
it was in Summit's favor because Noah was holding a Summit jersey, which we did report on. I did talk about that on our stories. Noah Khan got a Denver Summit FC jersey. So now he's repping the Summit. And I think that is worth maybe missing a game.
That's fair. If the concert experience is as spiritual as you make it out to be, maybe Michaela gifting that Summit jersey was what got us that 94th minute game winner. But I'm going to lend more credence to the power of Janine Sonis than Noah Khan. But yeah, I digress. So in addition to Stick Season, if any of you have ears, it's also Sniffle Season. I am going to be making nasal sounds throughout the episode, so I'm just going to get that out front. I apologize. My best bud was in from DC, and I think he trafficked some germs from the swamp and got me this cold and flu season. So I'm gonna make it through as best as possible. Hopefully, I have like a Michael Jordan flu game, but I apologize for the pitch and timbre of my voice throughout this episode.
Apology accepted.
Finally. Oh, thanks. I wasn't apologizing to you. I was apologizing to the listeners.
Well, I needed one.
At this point, we've heard each other's voices too many times to have to apologize for them.
I agree.
Like, listen to each other's voices, play back in the editing bay. Like,
yeah.
Now for our third season, It's inbound outbound season. To date, we've had the incomings of Kat Asman and Gemma Bonner to match the outgoings of PPM, Lourdes Sposch, and Faith Weber. That notably puts us down a woman ratio-wise. 2, if you include the season-ending injury of Nahikara Garcia. We'll get to that in a second, but first, since we already said their names, it was announced overnight, down under, that Sydney FC, the A-League women's side, has signed forward Faith Weber to a 1-year contract for the 26-27 A-League women's season. Weber was signed to Denver January 17th of this year, loaned to Tampa Bay Sun in the Cambridge USL Super League 13 days later on January 30th in exchange for one Natasha Flint. She never appeared to return to training with the Summit at the end of her loan to the Tampa Bay Sun, which coincided with the end of the Super League season in July. So a move was almost a foregone conclusion, and we finally got the destination. Faith will join the Sky Blues after a 2-goal and 1-assist campaign with Tampa Bay across 9 starts, 14 appearances, and 756 minutes. Both Sydney FC and Faith seem really stoked on this move, so Kaylee, I got to say, I'm just as stoked for them. Now for the heartbreaker. Friend of the pod, Lourdes Sposch, was announced yesterday to have permanently transferred to Liga MX Femenil side CF Monterrey. Fans will recall, yeah, hard hands. Hard hands in the chat, y'all. Put them up. Pour one out. Fans will recall that Lourdes was immediately loaned out to the Rayadas last fall after her August signing to Denver from Melbourne City. Well, while she was staying warm in Mexico waiting for the Summit's first NWSL season to start, I guess she made a damn fine impression, Kaylee, because one seems to do that with 2 goals, coming in new across 5 starts, 8 appearances, and 424 minutes. Notwithstanding is the senior Mexican national team call up she had in May of 2025, her constant involvement in the sub-23 national team, which capped off last week with a gold medal in the Central American and Caribbean Games held this year in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. In that tournament, Lourdes started 4 out of the 5 matches at left wing for Mexico, and while capping off the run with hardware, the gold medal, she also solidified her name on the team with an early goal in the semifinal against El Salvador. So, needless to say, at the beginning of this news, we adore Lourdes. She was the first person we spoke to from the Summit. We will be hardcore Rayadas fans watching going forward. We'll look to get her on to talk about her experience with the Summit or lack thereof, but we're really excited to hear about the Central American Games and a new restart with Monterrey permanently in Liga MX Femenil. Any thoughts on that, Kaylee?
My first thought is I'm so sad to see her go. I really wanted to see her be worked into the lineup and see her get to shine, but I am excited for her. If this is what's best for her, that's fantastic. She should be somewhere that she gets the minutes and gets to shine. So nothing but happiness for her. Wish you all the best, Lourdes.
I will add, this is a bit of a head scratcher. You and I have talked about this constantly, that she sparked in preseason. Getting to watch her week in and week out in training, her battles as left wing versus right back Ioka were just like cinematic affairs, popcorn scenes. We loved watching that. She had a flair and a sauciness that I think was severely lacking, which we'll talk about here in a second. But the fact that she made 5 game day rosters and appeared throughout none of them, I don't know. Maybe that's a fit discrepancy between the tactics that Nick wanted to employ, chemistry with the players on the field. What I will say is I know that Nahikara Garcia was Lourdes' bestie on the team. So with Nahi out rehabbing her knee injury, it seems like maybe this is the perfect time to get Lourdes to a place that will actually let her showcase her talents, of which there are many.
Yes, I agree.
that brings us back to inbound, outbound imbalances of this transfer window. We've said it. Nick said it. Players have said it. Janine Sonis simply can't be expected to be the top scorer, assister, and a defender on this team. I mean, she is those things, Kaylee, though shout out to Devin Lynch on that last one. But she shouldn't be expected to be on a balanced team tactically. No?
No, she absolutely should not be expected to be. We need some reprieve for Janine Sonis.
Which brings me to my now weekly insert MVP rant. NWSL, what are you thinking? How have we not seen any media about Janine Sonis in an MVP race? I mean, come on, she's sitting 7th in goals scored. She's what now, 4 back from just like born goal scorer Barbara Banda. Second place is 11. There's a 4-way tie for third place with 9 goals, and then there's Janine Sonis with 8. She is a defender. She is from Colorado. She was the captain of this team, still is co-captain of the team. She is stepping up and producing at the death miracle moments on free kicks to get her team back in the playoff race against Continental Divide rivals. Like, I want to see the assets, NWSL. I know you're listening. Put up some graphics. Like, Janine Sonis for MVP. Like, everyone get on board. Let's make the shirts. Let's make buttons. Let's send letters. I don't know what we do nowadays, but this needs to happen.
Yeah, put some respect on our girl. She deserves it.
Yeah. That's Janine Becky y'all are talking about if you don't remember. Meanwhile, Janine's just like casually posting videos of her driving a big ass pickup truck and going to various coffee roastings and soccer trainings like nothing's happening. She's too casual with this.
In
needs
addition to her
MVP.
soccer accolades, she is an entrepreneur and business owner. Like, what can she do?
Saving games in the same week she's launching companies?
Yeah.
MVP.
Jess
Berman, you're on notice, just like Michaela Schifrin. And that comes from Kaylee Long, not me.
Matt, you're firing off shots in my name, and you're going to have to deliver on them. So you're going to... Matt,
I told you this was going to be a spicy one.
Yeah, it seems as though Matt with a cold is a spicy Matt.
Yeah, I got to heat it up. So that brings us back to how we fix the lack of finishing on the Summit squad as of late. And as everyone in Portland has angrily messaged us, like on every platform,
angrily messaged us because you keep inciting them. You're picking
I think
fights.
I am like enemy number 1 for all of the Thorns fan base. The amount of comments and DMs. I don't know if you've seen the Seth Meyers show, but he has a writer on there, and they do a segment where Seth will make fun of someone, and then he'll stand up out of the audience and go, "Leave him alone!" And I feel like that's what every Portland Thorns fan is doing to me every time I mention #bring Soph home.
Yeah.
So we're gonna give them a reprieve this week. I would say they shouldn't be selfish. They got her for all this time. They got a championship ring out of it. I think this is very much a like, got it, flaunt it, boy, I know you want it situation, and we want it more right now. That's why we're probably ironing out a longer term deal than the slapdash 1-year player option that Portland was forced to retain her on. So I'm just saying, actually, seems like I'm coming after Portland more after I said I wouldn't. But I know they've had some sad news this week with Olivia Moultrie going on the season-ending injury list with an ACL tear. You hate to see that, especially such a young star, friend to so many players on our team through the U.S. women's national team system. So we're gonna move our ire over to another fan base right now. Are you okay with that? Do you know which fan base we're about to move our ire over to?
Yep. Tell us.
All right. So the situation in Louisville has not gotten better on the table nor in the press, as this past week it was released that they, quote, seek new investment and, quote, relocation not off the table. So that just buttons it up for me that we should go ahead and help out the struggling Lavender side with a small capital injection, because they lost their leverage when Emma Sears point blank asked in public for a trade. So let's give them a little something, something, and let's float them through to their next season as Racing Reno. For her part, Emma has made sure her suitors know she's a drop-in difference maker, scoring a brace and an assist in her last 2 matches since requesting the trade. So again, we say, Janine, Carson, get your girl. Is that okay with you, Kaylee? I know you've got
I would
some.
love to see Emma join Summit. I mean, I definitely feel like there's a spot for her to showcase some of that awesome talent that she has, and would also just be a fun little moment for me and my family who's all back in Kentucky. Personally, as you know, obviously the show is about me and all of my personal connections to the other NWSL teams. But yeah, I really
all
like
of
seeing
the decorated women you put on blast.
Okay, you're gonna have to step off, Matt. I'm gonna show up to your house and take your microphone. But no, Emma Sears coming to Summit would be great. Janine, Carson, yeah. I mean, you know what it's like to make the transition, so just let's get the new blood in.
All right. Lastly, a few bits and bobs. Lindsay Heaps made the cover of Sports Illustrated, which was a much cooler thing to say when it was written by actual humans. Delaney Sheehan made her 100th NWSL appearance against the Courage, only to be upstaged by Kaylee Kurtz's 150th NWSL appearance against Utah. Janine Sanas made the NWSL XI of the month again, and that goes alongside her appearance with Abby Smith on the Matchday 16 Team of the Week. Also, as if starring in the hit TV series Ted Lasso wasn't enough, spoilers, sorry, but come on, it's been a week. Temwa Chawinga is single-handedly the biggest source of GDP for Malawi, it would seem like now. She's lighting up the WAFCON tournament, women's AFCON. Malawi knocked off Ghana in the quarterfinals, which in turn secures them their first ever qualification to the World Cup. The Southeast African nation will receive a windfall of funds both from this tournament and entry into the World Cup. And that's surely going to give more exposure to a team that started 24 years ago on the international scene, and hopefully spotlight the hundreds of Temwa Chawingas that are already out there waiting for their opportunities, but then also create more brilliant Malawi women's and men's national team soccer players. That's what I got.
That was an incredible peak to peak. So much news floating around this week. And moving on to our game recaps. We have 2 game recaps to talk about this episode because we missed one, mostly because the schedule was insane last week. 3 games in 1 week and one of us out of town. You guys, we are doing our best, but we've got 2 to cover today. Bless you, Matt.
Thank you.
This one was frustrating. Let's talk about the North Carolina Courage versus Denver Summit. Oof, man. This one was a hard one. Summit looked right there the whole time, but the final product just wasn't, which Nick talked a lot about in the post game. The team has been working incredibly hard, but the moments just haven't been falling Summit's way up to this point with North Carolina. Against a team like the Courage, almost does not get you points and does not get you goals. The first big moment to happen before kickoff, as Lindsay Heaps was originally in the lineup, but very last second, scratched after experiencing some swelling. Nick talked about after the game, the team doctor ultimately made the call to pull her. And you definitely could feel her absence in that game, which obviously we support the health of Lindsay above her playing in a game, but it was still very much a buzz and much of a bummer going into this match. Denver still created opportunities. Tosh Flint had some moments. Devin Lynch had a really good look right before halftime. But we went into the break tied 0-0 with this game still completely there for them to claim if they seemingly wanted it. Matt, looking back on that game, do you remember what you were thinking going into the halftime?
Yeah, at halftime, this just felt like deja vu. I think I posted on the Blue Sky, same story, different day. It seemed like the Summit were just like creating all sorts of chances that they couldn't finish. And that's the difference. North Carolina Courage are a really good team. So at halftime, leaving them in, that's rough. We talked about the ruthlessness. We talked about the stepping on the neck. Like, you got to do something to convert all of that build up and offensive creation that you're doing. And while Yuzu, Tosh, Yaz, and MK were all getting rips, the fact that it's not producing a scoreboard result was really, really difficult for them.
Yeah. Immediately out of halftime, though, everything kind of changed. Ava got tangled up with Erica Parkinson in the box. North Carolina was awarded a penalty, and then Riley Jackson converted. It was 1-0 Courage, and I think collectively there was just a sigh and a head hanging of, dang, not again after something like that. Cushing called the penalty soft, but Denver had essentially an entire half to respond to that too. So whether you agree that the penalty was soft or not, nevertheless, Cushing called the penalty soft, and I agree personally. But whether you agree or disagree, Denver still had an entire half to respond to that. And I think that's where the real frustration was for me. And because they never really found it. There were corners, there were half chances, there were moments where Flint tried to make something happen, but there was never a goal to change that game for us. And then because, sports love a storyline, and this has to be something cinematic for us. The dagger for the final part of this game actually came in the 81st minute when Inglewood's own Allie Schlegel, in the 81st minute, Inglewood's very own Allie Schlegel got behind and eventually finished the chance and made it 2-0. A Colorado kid coming home and scoring against Colorado's NWSL team. I mean, that's just rude. That was frustrating again. And for me, this game just comes back to things that we've talked about all season. Denver, we have to become more ruthless. They're not getting outplayed. They're getting into dangerous areas and showing stretches of what this team can be. But as Nick kind of talked about, some things were just not falling in their favor. And it's just something that we need to execute better on. For this game overall, close is fine early and on the season, but at this point, I feel like everyone really felt the weight of this loss. And personally, I felt the weight of this loss even more because it was my birthday, and I really wanted a win for my birthday. And I know that is so selfish and probably incredibly annoying of me to say, but when you believe so much and have so much faith and expectation in a team, and to see it be so close over and over and again, to then come out with 2-0, it wasn't the story of a 2-0 game to me. It was a lot closer than that. And so that was really frustrating to see, which we now know, because this is in retrospect talking about the game, that there is a light later on in the week. But Matt, what were you thinking as well after this game?
A couple of things that you brought up, Allie Schlegel. It seems like if you are a Colorado kid and you come to Centennial Stadium, you will score. Soph did it. Allie did it. I'm surprised Ryan Williams didn't do it, because Centennial's her hometown. She started right back for the Courage and had a fantastic game. So at least she, I don't know, had mercy on us by not scoring as well. Other thoughts on this game was credit to where it's due. North Carolina, I thought Sheridan was amazing in goal. I thought Macy Bell, Feli Rausch, and Riley Jackson were really fun in the mid and back lines going against our team. I always like watching those attacking, defending battles. And so that was really entertaining for me. Ashley Sanchez also super entertaining on the pitch that night. I think what we talked about the previous episode was needing to get Olivia and Melissa going. But the chance in the 59th minute and the chance in the 76th minute, I think maybe what we need is to just get Tosh back going.
Yeah.
Like maybe that's what we're missing, is the Tosh Flit renaissance.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like there was just so many moments from her that it just felt so close. And I don't know if she's still dealing with any sort of rib pain or anything of that nature, but just felt like there was a little bit of something that was not there for her in that game.
Yeah. Needless to say, I know it was your birthday, but other people were probably sore about this one, including Kurt Johnson, who had spent a long time with the Courage. Similarly, Kaylee Kurtz, who spent 8 seasons with them. I know this was a game they were looking to win. This seemed like a particularly exhausting midweek Wednesday night game in a highly congested slate. And I think we kind of heard that from Tosh and Coach Cushing after that in the post game, that this was a frustrating loss.
While it was a tough loss on Wednesday, moving on to our Saturday game against the Utah Royals in our Continental Divide Cup. Now, at this point, we all know the result of the game, but let's talk about it. You know, I was just saying how Denver needed to find a way to win those little moments and really get that connection. They did. And possibly in one of the most dramatic ways possible, which I love the flair for dramatics, of course. Denver beat Utah 2-1 at Centennial, snapping a 3-game winless streak and taking 3 massive points against Royals, who are sitting in 3rd in the league. They did it without Lindsay Heaps, who remained out of the game, still with knee injury. And the first half wasn't necessarily pretty. Utah actually outshot Denver 10-6, but neither team really could find a breakthrough, and we went into halftime 0-0. Matt, I wasn't able to make the game, as we know, and as we talked about on socials. I guess people are voting that, yes, I should be banned since we won. Matt, going into halftime at the stadium, what was the vibe? Was everyone excited? Were we thinking this is going to be just like Courage, where we're 0-0 at halftime? What was the vibe?
Yeah, I mean, I will say, based on your attendance or future attendance to the game, it's just superstition and business, Kaylee. It's not personal. Like, actually,
okay, guys, look, I'll take one for the team.
Jess Berman and Michaela Schifrin texted me that you can't come back. Yeah, but I mean, one thing I noted at the beginning of this game, when the teams line up to get the whistle to kick off the game, only the attack went and lined up. The defense stayed back for a second huddle. So Janine, Io, Ava, Kaylee, and Abby all took like another 30, 45 second huddle while the game was waiting to kick off. So that was something I clocked from the onset. And I think it was important that they did so, because in the half, Uda were the better team. They were doing their best Summit impression of constantly getting into the box and not finishing. And I don't think it's from a lack of ability to finish on their part, because they were creating really high quality opportunities, but it's from just the sheer will of Abby Smith and the defense to cut down those chances at every point and to block and to come out for them. And this was really Summit's defense kept them in the game at this point. Natalie Means and Yaz Ryan were looking good on the flanks for us at halftime. Allie Brazier had gotten the start at the 9, but for the most part, this was just a game of how stalwart can our defense be in the second half.
Yeah, I did not get to see that extra little huddle because I was watching from my TV and they did not show that. So I'm really glad to hear that you clocked that immediately. And it sounds like it was making all the difference, because when Denver came out after the half, they almost immediately found what they were missing against North Carolina. And in the 51st minute, Janine Sana sent a beautiful ball into the box. Yasmin Ryan beat her marker and finished it off. But it was really interesting to hear Yaz talk about that cross in post, which we'll include here, because she kind of talks about how like it was a great ball in, but it did bobble, and what was going through her mind at that moment. So we'll include that here. I too love Janine's crosses, so couldn't agree with you more on that one. It was Yasmin Ryan's 4th goal of the season and her 2nd against Utah. After Yasmin's goal, things got a little chaotic. Utah kept pushing, and in the 89th minute, it's Tatum
Dramatic
Milazzo.
pause. Yeah, Tatum Milazzo.
In the 89th minute, Tatum Milazzo found the equalizer. And I think every Summit fan probably had the same thought. You gotta be kidding me. not again. Because late goals have really hurt this team all season. Denver had already conceded 7 goals in the final 15 minutes of matches so far this year, but this time Denver did not let it get them down. They responded. 4th minute of stoppage time, free kick just outside the box. Janine Sanas steps up. Our vote for MVP, and it was a beautiful goal that squeezed right under and past the goalie. I mean, absolutely electric. I think you could hear the whole city of Denver scream. It was, in my mind, game over. Absolute game over. Just maintain and we're done. I think that people are going to start naming their kids after Janine after that goal, honestly. Babies will be born, little Janines. Screams heard around the city. And again, I annoyingly wasn't able to be at the game. I got him, guys. Matt, tell us what you're thinking when I said that.
Clock it. 9 months from now, guys. I want all of the hospital birth records, all of the adoptions. I want to see how many Janines show up.
It's going to be a name that's circulating, let me tell you.
Yeah, so next May, there's going to be a surge of Janines, guys.
Yep. I mean, it would be a beautiful first name, beautiful middle name, by all means.
Or just name their kids MVP because she'll have the award by then.
Absolutely. Moving on, I do think that unfortunately me not being able to be at this game has, like, I know I've already said it, but it has gotten in my head, like, maybe I need to not be there. I think that's quite the inflated ego of me to say, thinking I have so much sway on the team, but I am jealous of how much electricity I missed being in that stadium. I did get to see a really fun shot from the camera view of Nick running and jumping and having this cinematic moment. But other than that, Matt, I mean, I can only imagine how great it was in the stadium. Tell us what it was like.
Yeah, that Janine moment, like there's this fantastic shot. Janine literally just like drops to her knees. So a few of the photographers got a shot of her just like aerial, like off the ground, but still with her knees bent, just like pure elation. You see the entire team come to her. Allie Brazier in the end says Allie's crying, Janine's crying. They're all just like so happy. This felt like such a cathartic goal for them. I absolutely love who the goal came from and Janine, which I've done my best to make sure that, yes, Lindsay Heaps is here. Yes, that's amazing. But y'all don't forget who got us to this point. Like, put some respect on Janine Becky Sanas' name with that MVP trophy. But it seemed like it meant worlds to them. Like this week had been so arduous. We'll hear about it, but yeah, that was an all-timer moment for me. That was amazing. And what a beautiful free kick from just the technical standpoint. You see Janine in the replay take a breath, eyes down, never looks at the goalkeeper to kind of give up where she's going to go, and just slots it in perfectly. A couple other things just on the game in total. There was a pretty controversial moment in the first half in the 43rd minute where it seemed like a clear no call, where the Summit should have gotten a penalty on a leg sweep from Kaylee Kurtz. And going into a game where Utah equalizes and it looks like that non-call could have been the difference versus Janine just taking the game out of the ref's hand and winning it soundly. Those are the sports cliche of you always win the game yourself. Never let anyone else take control of the situation for you. And I thought that was such a big moment for a young team to really do that. And then I was having a lot of fun watching Allie Brazier in this match. She came out of the second half like a bat out of hell, like completely on fire. She was going at Anna Tejada. She was going at Kate Del Fava, Neria Rabano at times. Like, just, she was selling fouls. She was drawing contact. She was sprinting everywhere. She had 2 near goal opportunities. And I just want to like give all the flowers to Allie Brazier here. She was playing her head off. Like, I thought she surely would get a goal. She surely deserved one. And I dropped my earbud. And I think this was I think this was a really big moment for Allie to get the start at the 9, be the person her team needed. And so kudos to Allie Brazier in this game.
It's also been just great to see the fans respond to Allie too. Allie has a very, very strong fandom behind her. Everyone was so excited to see her start, was so excited to see her just get in those moments, like you said. And talking to her in the post-game presser, it was great to see that not only was she excited to play, she was ready to play, and she's just as excited for her teammates. Like, I think that's been really fun to see across this season, is how much the heart of the team, this seems like a very unselfish team. And I don't know if that is unique or if that it feels unique, or if just NWSL players are really great people, but it just feels like the team itself is incredibly excited for everyone else equally to their own success, which is cool to see.
All right, y'all. Kaylee had to depart. It's not like we kicked her off the show. I know we've talked about her not coming back to the games after Utah's result, but she is still welcome on all of the episodes. Hopefully, just like last match against the San Diego Wave and Denver Summit, she shows up for more than one half next time. That said, let's get into the game preview for San Diego Wave versus Denver Summit. Wayback Machine, let's go all the way to April 25th, 2026. Denver Summit make their second ever match appearance in the state of Colorado, this time moving northeast from Mile High Stadium and 63,004 fans to Dick's Sporting Goods Park and approximately 46,000 less faces in the stands. Still loud, y'all. It was really loud and a sellout. San Diego Wave are in town. Kennedy Wesley and Yuzuki Yamamoto had just played this very stadium a week prior in the U.S. Women's National Team versus the Japan Women's National Team match. Kennedy Wesley scored in that, foreshadowingly. Emma Hayes is in attendance. She and her son were back from a massive time in the mountains, seeing snow for the first time. Denver comes out looking feisty. Yaz and Io are finding joy up and down the flanks. Tosh and MK well positioned for receiving the attack. It works. First, with Yaz to MK in the 16th minute. Second, to Tosh, from Tosh. Yes, you heard that right. In the 32nd minute. Summit are up 2-0. The halftime whistle blows, and that's it. That's absolutely all that happened, folks. Anyone who tells you otherwise is a liar and probably a Royals fan. Flash forward. The number 4 on the table team, San Diego Wave, host a return fixture against the number 10 Denver Summit. A lot has changed for the Summit in the way they conduct their games. A lot has changed in the Wave's attacking front. Additionally, Kat Macario and Lindsay Heaps are still not going to play in this matchup. Both high billings for both teams. Wave are on their third main keeper of the season, after Leah Freeman, who the Summit faced in April, departed for Lazio. Didi Haricic injured her leg, and Sandra Panos took over mid-July. Perhaps a boon for a finishing jilted Summit side, perhaps not. Panos has 3 goals conceded and 1 clean sheet in her 3 matches. If the Summit are going to attack her, it'll probably be with crosses or balls into the box, as Sandra's stats say she's not really a claimer or a climber. If one of the strikers doesn't score a goal tonight, I swear Nick Cushing is going to jump out of his skin. And after last Saturday, we know exactly how high Nick can jump. Speaking of last Saturday, Denver capped off an exhausting 3-game week with an absolute emotional high, care of one Janine Sanas. I've seen the team a lot of ways this season, and after that match, I saw players that felt like they'd lifted a curse. Can they find that magic again? San Diego are better on the road, where they beat Denver last time around, than they are at home. Summit are as even Stevens as it gets, home and away, but have given up 4 less goals on the road. A Summit defense that hung tough against Utah will have unseen faces to defend in Gia Corley on the left, Trinity Byers up top, and Melanie Barcenas on the right. That trio has 9 goals and 3 assists collectively, to go with Leah Godfrey's 5 and 4 at the 10. If you remember, Leah scored on us last match with a nice solo effort into the box. Summit found a lot of attacking ease back in April, but their batteries died coming out of the locker room. The big question will be, how well rested are they after last week? Can they play a full 90-plus match? And how many goals does Janine Sonis need to score for this game to end in a win? My prediction, Janine only has to score 1. Final result, 2-0. Goal scorers, like I said, Janine Sonis, and I'm ever itching for MK to get out of the slump. I think she breaks it open and gets a goal this week. San Diego are on the skids and have scored 3 in their last 5, giving up 7 and going 1-1-3. So I'm pretty comfortable here giving Abby Smith the clean sheet because I thought the way she and the backline defended against Utah really earned that possibility. Let's go get it tonight. Let us know your score predictions. Hit us up on socials.
Yeah, we're well aware of San Diego's quality. I mean, we sort of had a game of 2 halves against them. We went 2-0 up in the first half at home here in Dix. Played really well, possibly our best half of football this year, with the ball in possession. Second half, they came at us and we didn't manage to get over the line with the win. So we sort of see both sides of it when we allow them space and when we allow them the ability to attack us. But we also know that we can cause them problems. We're off the back of a good win with Utah. A different win, actually. Probably didn't control the game as much as we did against Boston and Houston and games that we didn't win. But we managed to get the win in this one. So a real good learning curve for us.
Coach, do you have an update on Lindsay and how she's doing?
She's still day-to-day. She's doing okay. She's working through the small problem that she's got. She's continuing to stay in condition so that as soon as she's ready to play, she can play. So it's day-to-day at the moment. Like I've said before, it's something that we're not overly concerned about. We're just going to allow the medical team to work through the process and make sure that, I said earlier in the week, for me, finishing strong this season with Lindsay is far more important than rushing her now.
Is the team feeling a little bit more rested after a busy week last week?
I don't know if they feel rested, but they definitely feel better than they did in a Saturday turnaround. We gave them 2 days off, so they were able to go and spend some time, family and friends, and rest and recover. And the energy this week in practice has been excellent. So, we're excited for the game. Going to be a tough one, but we're excited.
Janine had such a great game-winning goal in that last game. Has she exceeded your expectations this season? It seems like she's played great.
I think she's hitting the level that I expect in the sense of the desire to win and the desire to outperform. But for sure she is overperforming for a new team. She's been here, she's developing relationships, she's the leader of the team. You know, I've worked with her previously, but not for 8 years. So to find her level so quickly and be so consistent, I think is such an asset for the team.
Has the team given you any flack or anything from your reaction of the goal on last week? They showed that great shot from you behind, jumping up, pumping your fist. Have you got any flack from the team?
Yeah, we've had a few jokes about it, but seems to be, I think that is me in that moment where it's just really organic and it's just, the desire to win. This team deserves more points, and I know you get what, in sport it is what it is, but we've played really well in games that we haven't won. We're developing every week. The team are investing in each other and in this organisation. So I was really desperate for them to get that win after a 3-game homestand. And, yeah, I believe we really deserved it.
Coach, I want to ask about Delaney. And she just recently reached 100 regular season appearances and all that. Can you just talk about her progression and impact on the team this season?
She's brought real experience to our midfield. You could see at the start of the year we didn't have any NWSL experience in our midfield, so we knew that we were going to be a developing team when we look at our midfield and progressing the ball and being an organised defensive unit. We then had the opportunity to trade for Delaney after game 1, was really critical for us, and she's been top. The communication, the experience she brings. I still feel she has more level, and we can really develop Delaney into being a really good ball-playing midfield that can keep possession, that can progress the ball, that can create chances with the last pass, and that's just part of the process. But really enjoying working with her. She's a huge asset for our team and has improved us as the season's gone on.
You guys are adding Gemma this weekend. Looks like she'll be able to play a girl you're familiar with. What are your expectations of her, and what is she going to add to this team?
I expect her to be a presence in the locker room, to bring her experience of defending and experience of the game in general, her experience of winning and her winning mindset, but also she'll add quality on the field for us. When she goes in as a defender, she's a really, really high-level defender. She's good with the ball, so good to add some experience to the team, somebody that I've had experience with, but also is a real winner.
As always, we're Sum It Up. You can find us on Blue Sky at Sum It Up. You can find us on Instagram at Sum It Up Show. We'll be watching the game on NWSL Plus tonight, and we will see you soon. Thanks.